HowExpert Guide to Coyotes, 101 Plus Lessons to Learn About, Embrace, and Love Coyotes from A to Z. By HowExpert with Jasmine Murphy. HowExpert publishes quick, how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit howexpert.com to learn more. HowExpert Guide to Coyotes attempts to change the narrative of one of North America's most iconic species. Public perspectives on wildlife management have undoubtedly shifted further in favor of more humane practices in wildlife management and efforts to reduce negative human-wildlife interactions. As the public becomes more aware of the biased methods used to control nuisance wildlife populations, managers are held to greater accountability, meaning expectations of integrating more non-lethal measures are on the rise. Yet, there is one animal that gets left behind in the fight for animal rights: coyotes. People in North America, specifically Americans, tend to display strong negative emotions and perspectives concerning coyotes. Surprisingly, these feelings persist whether the individuals have encountered the animals themselves or not. From rural communities to metropolitan neighborhoods, coyotes have now invited themselves into the lives of people in all sorts of communities, giving us no choice but to learn to live with them. Though many people would like to see the animal disappear entirely, that is a wish that is far from reality, especially in consideration of the fact that the coyote was present in North America far before even the first indigenous nations. The book HowExpert Guide to Coyotes attempts to break down these barriers by teaching readers the ins and outs of how this animal works in terms of its life history, social structures, and more. Jasmine Murphy, the author of HowExpert Guide to Coyotes, believes that a large part of the reason why the public feels so negatively toward the species is simply that they have never been able to have the opportunity to learn about it just like any other animal. Think about it, Americans tend to feel more positively toward animals such as koalas and tigers because they are portrayed as interesting and exotic, full of surprises and fun facts in every facet of their existence. Coyotes, on the other hand, were painted as tricksters, nuisances, and thieves throughout most Americans' childhood. Instead of the animal being portrayed as a fascinating creature with unique strengths, interesting behaviors, and countless groundbreaking adaptations, we learned about them as something that just disturbs our neighborhood and takes up space. Maybe here and there we'll hear a false, fun fact about how they lure dogs into bushes just to ambush them with their pack. Since the 1800s, during the continuation of European settlement into the Americas, narratives of the coyote as a disturber of the peace have been perpetuated, much to the particular benefit of agricultural professionals and hunters. These narratives allowed those demographics to continue lobbying efforts directed at the federal government over hundreds of years to keep lethal, ecologically harmful protections in place under the justification of coyote removal. Perhaps with greater understanding and, consequentially, a better appreciation for the species overall, the public can begin collectively amending their relationship with a species that we have no choice but to share space and resources with. The coyote is one of North America's most iconic species. From its silhouette cast by the setting desert sun, to the singing of the pack in the moonlit night, to the unmistakable trot of their lanky bodies, this species holds a special place in the heart of North America. Hopefully, once readers have finished with their journey through HowExpert Guide to Coyotes, it'll hold a place in their hearts, too. Coyotes are some of the most fascinating creatures native to the North American continent. Most people haven't had much opportunity to learn about what makes this species so unique, and this has fueled strong negative feelings that have persisted for thousands of years. Now that public opinion is shifting further in favor of enforcing more humane animal welfare protections, the time is ripe for reconciling our relationship with the coyotes, and encouraging better relationships between humans and the infamous song dog. In this book, we go through the basics of coyotes and get to know them as an animal just like any other species native to North America. From learning more about their infamous howl, to how they overcome the challenges of living in an urban environment, you'll get to know the coyote on a deeper level and break through the narrative of fear you've been exposed to for so long. The intention of this book is not to force you to love coyotes as the author does, but it's great if that's the result, but to help you grow past the myths that have been passed as fact since the 1800s. Learn to live with the coyote peacefully, and see it not as a wily villain, but as just another animal that is trying to survive like you and me. About the expert. Jasmine Sunny Murphy is a master's student studying environmental policy and management, with a concentration in fish and wildlife management. She has a Bachelor of Science degree in zoology from the University of California, Santa Barbara, and aims to make STEM research and education freely available to the public through her platform, Black Flower Science Co. Jasmine's ultimate goal is to repair relationships between scientists and laypeople, and all of her writing is a part of this big picture. Wildlife has always played a central role in her life, and her hope is that everyone would come to love the organisms of the natural world in the way that she always has. HowExpert publishes quick, how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit howexpert.com to learn more.